I'm here with women's basketball head coach Jessica Minetti. Coach, thanks for coming down and talking about your season so far.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it. You know, coming into this season, you guys need a lot of contributions from some underclassmen. How do you feel like they matured after being tested early this season?
Well, I think early on, the underclassmen did a really good job just showing what they're capable of doing. We have some really talented underclassmen who have earned some starting positions, have contributed some great minutes. And I think they really were able to feel comfortable right away with the opportunity to play, and they really made the most of it. You know, as we have gone on throughout conference, we're still a little bit inconsistent, and that's just not with the underclassmen, that's kind of with everyone. So I think I'm looking now as we move forward for more consistency from everybody, including the underclassmen. You know, the basketball doesn't care if you're a freshman. The basketball doesn't care if you're a sophomore. Your opponents don't care. So, you know, let's show up, let's play, let's get after it, let's give great effort. And it doesn't matter, you know, if you're a freshman or a senior, like let's play to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously the first half of the season is for finding yourself a little bit. But now that part's over. How do you see your team finishing off the rest of the season and moving forward?
That's a great question. I think there's a lot of uncertainty as we move forward. We've had the last, well, I want to say the Bryant game, which we just played, we had great effort. It was great effort. We fell short. We lost by 4. But I was so proud of their effort. I think if we can come up with that kind of effort every day, we're going to really be able to compete down the stretch. And I always tell the team, it doesn't really matter in February what your record is. You know, in February, you want to be the team that gets hot. You want to be the team nobody wants to play in playoffs. So I think right now, you know, we put a lot of stock into wins and losses over the last couple years. We've had a lot of success. This year with a relatively young team, we're still trying to figure out what our identity is. We're still trying to figure out how to be more consistent. But if we can give great effort every night like we did yesterday, I think the next 7 games should be really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And you always see those teams who get hot are sometimes the teams that move forward and have great ends to the season. Yeah. And now coming up, you have 2 favorable matchups, and I want to talk about the Wagner Seahawks this coming weekend. How do you feel like you guys match up against the Seahawks, and what do you guys have to do to come out with the W this weekend?
So in our first matchup, we struggled a little bit in the first half and really turned it on in the second half. We had a dynamite response to some challenges that I gave them in the locker room about kind of stepping it up a little bit. So I think we just need energy. I think our matchup with Wagner is a good matchup. They have a very dominating inside post player. She's very, very good. I think we have a great game plan against her. So I'm excited to see if we can execute that game plan, if we can force them into the amount of turnovers that we forced them into last time. I think that we had 20 plus turnovers that we forced Wagner into. So I think the matchup will be good. You know, if we can score, that'd be great. I'd love for us to score. I'd love for us to shoot over 35% for one game because we're taking great shots. We're just not able to put them in the basket. But, you know, just to play a complete game, I think the matchup is really good. It should be exciting. But if we execute game plan, I definitely think we can come out with a win.
Well, you mentioned energy there in the first bit of your answer. Moving on to Monday and Pack the Pitt, just from an atmosphere perspective, how important is it for the fans to come out in full force and support you guys on Monday as you take on Mount St. Mary's?
So we have the best fans here, ever. I always talk about the energy in the Pitt Center. I always talk about how exciting it is to have such great fans, whether it's fans in the community, it's the student body, it's the administration, our faculty, they all come out. And hearing that type of energy, usually when you're playing, you're so locked in. And when we're in the Pitt Center and something great happens and I hear this roar of the crowd, it kind of snaps me into reality. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at how incredible this is. And I know our team gets really hyped about it. You see how our players on the bench have great energy and they just feed right off the crowd. So it's huge. You know, all the support we get here really does help us in these big moments to find ways, whether we're up or we're down, to be able to just keep playing with great energy. And I think that that's a big testament to the tradition here that's been created with the support that all the athletes give each other and just how great our student body is.
Well, we wish you guys the best of luck the rest of the season. That's all the time we have for today. We want to thank you for coming down and spending some time with us.
Thank you so much.
Be sure to get down to the Pitt Center Saturday the 10th for a 1 p.m. tip. Also, make sure to dress in all white for the annual women's basketball Pack the Pitt white game on Monday as they host Mount St. Mary's for a 6 p.m. tip-off. If you can't make it to the game, the show will be broadcast nationally on ESPN3.